Hi, my name is Abigail Campbell, and this is my theory application video for Education 181. So in this video, I'm going to be applying attachment theory and bioecological systems theory. So let's get into our case study. Sarah, who I will be playing, is the mother of Liam, a 7-year-old boy who recently transferred to a new school after the family moved. And we'll hear a little bit more about his concerns, but he's been having some distress in morning drop-off, refusal to participate in class activities, frustration with classmates, and increased clinginess at home. So Sarah seeks advice from Dr. Harper, a child psychologist who I will also be playing, to help understand Liam's behavior and how to support him. So let's hear from Sarah and what she's experiencing.
Hi, thank you so much for meeting with me, Dr. Harper. My name is Sarah, and I'm really concerned about my son Liam. He's 7 years old, and he recently started at a new school after we moved. Before the move, he loved school and he didn't have any kind of behavioral problems, but over the past few weeks, things have changed a lot. Every morning he cries when I drop him off, and his teacher says that he sometimes refuses to participate in activities. And she also mentioned that he's been getting frustrated a lot more quickly and he's even yelled at some of his classmates. And at home, his temper has been pretty much fine, but he's a lot more clingy and he asks me a lot if I'm gonna leave. So I'm starting to worry that something bigger is going on. I'm just wondering if I did anything wrong. I want to support him, but I'm just not sure what the best approach is. So I wanted to get some of your input.
Okay. So I've got a quick explanation of attachment theory. You're welcome to pause and read this, but for the sake of time, let's watch Dr. Harper, our child psychologist, apply this theory in practice.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for meeting with me today. I'm happy to talk with you. And thank you for sharing your story about your son. Transitions like moving or starting a new school can be really challenging for children, even if they handled school well before in the past. From an attachment theory perspective, these behaviors may reflect that Liam's seeking some reassurance during a time that his environment suddenly feels unfamiliar. Children often rely on their caregivers as what we call a secure base. So when they feel confident in that connection, they're more comfortable exploring new environments like school. And when their routine or their surroundings change, their need for this reassurance can increase. So, one helpful strategy that I would suggest for you is maybe creating a consistent and predictable morning routine. So, for example, you might establish a brief goodbye ritual like a hug, a phrase that you always say, or something like a small note in his lunch or his backpack. And according to attachment theory, these predictable interactions can help reinforce this emotional security, helping make sure that he has a secure attachment and that the separation can feel less overwhelming for him as a whole.
Okay, and now let's see what Sarah's response is.
Yeah, honestly, that explanation makes a lot of sense. Since we moved, our routines have definitely changed a lot. My new job starts earlier in the mornings, so mornings have been a lot more rushed than they used to be. And Liam used to eat breakfast a lot more slowly. We used to be able to talk about, what he was excited for the day, but now it just feels like we're just trying to get out the door as fast as possible. And another thing is he really doesn't know anyone at his new school yet. At his old school, he had a really good close group of friends. They had been in the same class for the past couple of years. So he doesn't have that now, and he's still trying to find his place in his new school. So I've also been wondering if the stress of the move might have been affecting him a lot more than I realized. I've admittedly been pretty focused on adjusting to my own new schedule, so he maybe just needs a little bit more support while everything gets settled.
Okay. And now going on to bioecological systems theory, I've also included a quick explanation of this theory here. Again, for the sake of time, you're welcome to pause and read this, but let's watch Dr. Harper apply this theory in practice as well.
Yeah, that additional context is really helpful. From a bioecological perspective, Liam's behavior might be influenced by several changes occurring across different parts of his environment at the same time. For example, his microsystem includes the settings that he interacts with directly, like home and school, and both of those environments recently changed for him. Your new work schedule also represents an exosystem influence because even though it doesn't directly involve Liam, it still affects his daily routines and his experiences. Another important piece is the mesosystem that refers to connections between environments. That could mean communication between parents and teachers, so between you and Liam's teacher, and strengthening those connections can also help children adjust more smoothly. One practical step could be coordinating with Liam's teacher about strategies that support him during transitions. When children experience consistency between home and school, it often makes new environments feel a lot more safer and predictable, and this could help Liam adjust more comfortably overall.
Okay. So now for a conclusion and summary. So what did we learn? In this scenario, we saw that attachment theory helped explain Liam's need for emotional security during a major transition. And we also saw that bioecological systems theory highlighted how changes in his environment, like home, school, as well as Sarah, his mom's work schedule, all affected his adjustment and development. So ultimately, HDFS theories matter overall because they can help professionals understand children's behavior and can also guide practical application strategies to support families. So, thank you for watching my video.